pattern templates here. Figure out what my best way to lay these out is. I'm going to use a tool called a Hera marker. This is a Hera marker to mark my pattern pieces, and that way I won't actually have to draw on the waxed canvas because the waxed canvas holds the marks. Now I'm gonna cut. So now I have my pieces all cut and I'm ready to go sew. I'm going to switch to a thicker thread. This is technically jean thread. And I'm also going to use a heavy duty needle. All right. So I'm going to start by stay stitching my two circle pieces together, just by sewing them all the way around at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And you always want to back stitch and at the beginning and the end of every seam. Probably should have checked my tension first. Now the next step is to sew the front pocket onto one of the body pieces. Now the nice thing about waxed canvas is I was able to make a guideline for sewing down the center of this pocket just by folding the waxed canvas in half. I'm going to go ahead and clip it together with some Wonder Clips, just so that it doesn't shift. Oh. Where's my seam ripper? So I forgot to hem the top of my pocket before sewing it. So I'm going to go ahead and hem it now. I'm actually just going to finger press my waxed canvas here. You can press with your iron if you'd like, but make sure that you use a pressing cloth or else the wax will melt onto your iron, and that will be a big mess. You literally just press it with your finger, and I'm eyeballing this 1/4 inch and then it's a 1/2 inch. I'll use Wonder Clips to secure it. Wow, can't believe this is what happens when you sew without your own instructions. I bet some of you at home are like, wait, Amy, don't do that. Thank you for trying to help. Okay, so now I'm gonna sew this center front seam. Really can't believe I made that mistake. That's really embarrassing, but we press on. Okay, so now I'm continuing my center front seam. And now I'm gonna go ahead and stay stitch along each side so that when I sew this later, it doesn't move around a lot. I'm just gonna use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Starting to look like a bag. So exciting. Yay! I'm going to sew my two main body pieces together with right sides together. I'm actually skipping the interior pocket for this bag because I'm trying to do this rather quickly, and I also don't use interior pockets that much. But this is when you would go ahead and add that pocket if you are making the All Well bucket bag yourself. After you've sewn the two side seams is to bind these inner seams with either bias binding or twill tape. I'm going to use twill tape, so this is 1 inch wide cotton twill tape, and I'm going to start by pressing it in half with my iron. And I'm just sewing right along the edge of the twill tape, trying to make sure that I'm also catching the underside. I'm gonna actually read my own instructions now so that I don't make another embarrassing mistake. Now we're going to hem the top of our bag. A 1/4 inch fold and then a 1.5 inch fold. And again, I'm just gonna finger press here because really with waxed canvas, that's basically as effective as pressing with an iron. Round, you wanna press your side seams toward the back of the bag, the top of my binding here, because it's just gonna create extra bulk. And now our second fold is 1.5, so I have that marked on my gauge. And I'm gonna start at the sides, because that usually helps me keep things even. And once again, I'm gonna use my Wonder Clips to hold things down. You'll notice that I'm not pressing as I go, but that's because I'm using waxed canvas, which I don't want to use my iron on. So I finger pressed these side seams apart. Waxed canvas is a really nice material for a bag because it is water resistant. You can always, and then if it starts to lose its water resistance, you can always re-wax it. It gains a really beautiful patina, almost like leather, as you it gets marked up with wear. So it shows where you've been, it kind of tells a story with that's the poetic version of it. And it also just has it feels nice and it looks high end. And it is a little more expensive than canvas. So this might not be like, I'm gonna make everything from waxed canvas, but it's, you know, still to use waxed canvas to make a bag is cheaper than buying a similar bag ready-made. I'm gonna sew my hem. I'm gonna add a little all-well tag right here near the side, under the hem. And you're going to edge stitch here, so you're gonna sew as close to the edge of the hem as you can. And you'll see now we have a gorgeous hem here all the way around, and inside I have my tag. So the way I like to start this is I like to mark with little snips the 4 quadrants of my circle. And then I'll do the same on the base of my bag. These two sides are already obvious because of the binding, and the front center is obvious, but the back is not as clear. So I'm gonna go ahead and find it and give it a snip. And put my circle base inside and line it up with those 4 kind of markers so that I make sure that it's evenly distributed. Now you can use as many clips or pins as you want here. Sewing the circle is definitely the trickiest part of making the all-well bucket bag, and if it doesn't go well the first time or the first 4 times and you have to seam rip, that is totally normal. Don't feel bad. And if you end up with like some little tucks or something, you get to decide whether you care about that or not. If you really care about it and you don't want any tucks, then you feel free to seam rip and try again. Go slowly. Try to hit your milestones. But basically all you have to do is just keep moving your circle to reach the seam allowance. I did it! Wow, beautiful. So now you have a bucket bag. I'm going to add my twill tape all the way around here to finish this seam. At the beginning of my twill tape, I'm actually going to sew it down really quick. And this will help do a clean finish on the twill tape when I finish. But I'm gonna start about 1 inch away from the start of that finished edge of the twill tape. And I'm just gonna I'm actually not going to pin this on, I'm just gonna sort of shape it as I go. And this is another time just to take it slow. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just needs to finish this edge for you. This is the inside of your bag, so no one's gonna see it. It's just for you. You can use a pop of color if you want. And I'm gonna fold the beginning of the twill tape over so that there's like 2 layers for a little while. And this is a pretty fiddly moment, so just take your time. Back stitch, great, all done. So now I'm flipping my bag out for the first time. It's looking awesome. This is a point when you're going to want to really press, or in my case, finger press, this whole bottom circle, because it's the main like base of your bag. Here's my bag. You see that the wax canvas already has some nice patina on it. Now I'm going to use this leather punch. But then I'll probably have to make, I will have to make the hole bigger. So this, my friends, is my handy dandy grommet press. I love it. It's very intense, but it really helps me set grommets. All right, so you stick the top of your grommet through from the outside of the bag. And then on the back, you put a little washer like this. And this is the outside. Inside, outside. Now, using my grommet press, I'm gonna lay my grommet down here. Probably should have tested this first, but I did not. Alright, that wasn't too bad. That is a grommet. I pressed it. Doesn't look too bad. Okay, so I've successfully added my grommets. So now I'm going to go ahead and thread I have a leather strap. So it appears to be about 2 yards. Strap configuration C, mini crossbody tote. I'm actually doing it on a large tote, but just because I think it's pretty cool. I'm going to use Chicago screws, which look like this. Literally little screws that screw into each other. So there's like a top piece and then a bottom piece that screws in. I'm going to use that to attach my leather. Beautiful. I'm going to layer one on top of the other. Stick the top part of the Chicago screw. Tight fit. Oh, good. Okay. Which is good because then it won't shift around too much, but it's just a little bit exhausting. Wow, it's beautiful. So I made a whole bag, and it's gorgeous. It looks really cute.